The words hit me like a slap from a lover's hand. Cold, unexpected, and laced with venom. You're too old for this, Evelyn. 55. Come on, it's time to step aside. Mark's voice echoed in the dimly lit conference room, his smirk illuminated by the glow of the projector screen behind him. The air smelled of stale coffee and printer ink, thick with the tension of our small marketing firm where I'd poured 20 years of my life. My heart hammered against my ribs, a furious drumbeat that drowned out the murmurs from the team. Humiliation burned in my cheeks, hot and unrelenting, as I gripped the edge of the table, my knuckles whitening. Too old. Me. The woman who'd built this department from scratch, who stayed late crafting campaigns while he golfed with clients. In that moment, fury coiled in my gut like a serpent awakening, but I swallowed it down, forcing a tight smile. Is that your professional opinion, Mark? I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside. He leaned back in his chair, his expensive watch catching the light, a symbol of the promotions he'd stolen from under my nose. Mark was my junior by 15 years, ambitious and charming, the kind of man who flirted with interns and called it networking. We'd been more than colleagues once, a fleeting office romance that ended when he got the director role I'd been promised. Betrayal didn't start with this meeting. It had simmered for months in stolen ideas credited to him, in whispers about my outdated strategies. But this, publicly declaring me obsolete in front of the team, it was a knife twisted deep. As the meeting dragged on, I tuned out the discussions, my mind racing through memories. Late nights laughing over takeout, his promises of us against the world. Now it was him against me, and resentment festered like an open wound. I imagined confronting him, screaming until my throat rawed, but doubt crept in. What if he was right? What if I was fading, irrelevant? Driving home that evening, the city blurred through rain-streaked windows, neon signs reflecting like shattered dreams on the wet pavement. My apartment loomed ahead, a modest two-bedroom in a quiet suburb, filled with echoes of a life half-lived. No husband, no kids, just me and the ghosts of what could have been. I slammed the car door, the sound sharp against the patter of rain, and trudged inside, kicking off my heels that pinched like reminders of my age. The mirror in the hallway caught my reflection, silver streaks in my dark hair, lines around my eyes from years of squinting at screens. Too old. The words replayed, fueling a heartbeat of obsession. I poured a glass of wine, the liquid swirling crimson like blood, and sank onto the couch. Heartbreak mingled with anger. How dare he reduce me to a number? But beneath it, guilt gnawed. Had I been too trusting, too complacent? The phone buzzed, jolting me from my spiral. It was my sister, Clara, her voice hesitant over the line. Ev, I found something in Mom and Dad's old papers. You need to come over. Our parents had passed 5 years ago in a car accident, leaving behind a tangle of debts and a modest estate we'd split. I'd handled the finances, or so I thought. Clara's tone hinted at something buried, a secret that prickled my skin with unease. Can't it wait? I snapped, resentment spilling over from the day. But her insistence pulled me back into the rain, tires hissing on slick roads as I drove to her house on the outskirts of town. The neighborhood was quiet, houses huddled under street lamps like conspirators. Clara greeted me at the door, her face pale, clutching a yellowed envelope. They invested, she whispered, leading me to the kitchen table scattered with documents. Every month $10 from their savings, into some obscure stock fund. Started in the 80s. Ev, it's worth over $1 million now. Shock rooted me in place, the room spinning as I scanned the papers. Statements from a forgotten brokerage account, compounding interest charts showing exponential growth. My parents, frugal factory workers who'd scrimped on vacations, had played the long game, a secret nest egg hidden even from us. Why? Denial surged. This couldn't be real. But the numbers stared back, undeniable. $1 million. Split between Clara and me, it meant freedom, power. As I traced the figures with trembling fingers, cold resolve began to form, icy tendrils wrapping around my fury. Mark's words echoed again, But now they fueled something darker. Fantasies flickered, quitting in blaze of glory, exposing his incompetence. But doubt lingered. Was revenge worth it? Or was this a sign to walk away gracefully? Over the next weeks, the money changed everything, yet nothing. I kept my job, smiling through gritted teeth as Mark paraded his innovative ideas, stolen from my old pitches. In meetings, his glances toward me held a mix of pity and triumph, heightening the tension like a taut wire. "Evelyn, maybe mentor the new hires. Your experience is valuable," he'd say, his tone dripping condescension. Each word stoked my obsession. Nights spent pacing my apartment, the city lights flickering like distant fires. Inner conflict raged. Part of me yearned for peace, to invest the windfall and retire quietly. But resentment won, whispering of justice. I began subtle probes. Hacking wasn't my style, but a discreet call to a PI friend uncovered Mark's secrets. Embezzling petty cash, affairs with subordinates. Moral grayness settled in. Was I becoming the villain? One evening, as thunder rumbled outside, I confronted Clara over dinner. The scent of roasted chicken filled her cozy kitchen, but the air crackled with unspoken words. "Why didn't they tell us?" I asked, my voice laced with hurt. She shrugged, eyes evasive. "Maybe they wanted us to earn our own way. Or perhaps they knew we'd need it someday." Her words hinted at foresight, a parental safeguard against life's cruelties. As rain lashed the windows, I shared Mark's betrayal, my voice breaking with humiliation. "He called me too old, Clara. In front of everyone." Her face hardened, a mirror of my own resolve. "Then make him regret it," she said softly, her tone revealing her own buried grudges, her divorce, her dead-end job. In that moment our bond deepened, but so did the suspense. What form would revenge take? At work, tension built slowly. I volunteered for a high-stakes project, one Mark coveted, my smile hiding the storm. He assigned it to me with a patronizing nod, unaware of the trap I was setting. Late nights in the office, the hum of fluorescent lights buzzing like insects, I doctored reports, subtle errors that would trace back to him. Guilt twisted my stomach. This wasn't me, the ethical professional. But fantasies of his downfall pushed me forward. His face crumpling as the board fired him. His smugness shattered. Fear crept in too. What if I got caught? Doubt warred with obsession, each keystroke a step toward the abyss. The breaking point came during a client dinner, the restaurant's candlelight casting shadows that danced like demons. Mark leaned close, his breath whiskey sour. "Evelyn, let's bury the hatchet. You're still sharp. For your age." Suppressed rage boiled over inside, but I laughed it off, clinking glasses. "To new beginnings," I toasted, my eyes cold. That night, alone in my bed, sheets tangled like my thoughts, I planned. The money would fund it all. An anonymous tip to the auditors, evidence planted. Moral conflict peaked. Was this justice or pettiness? But as dawn broke, resolve hardened. Revenge wasn't just about him. It was reclaiming my worth. Subtle hints emerged. Anonymous emails to the team, questioning Mark's leadership. Whispers in the break room, eyes darting my way. He grew paranoid, snapping at meetings, his charm cracking. Suspense thickened, each day a slow unraveling. I watched from the shadows, heart pounding with anticipation and dread. The audit hit like a storm, unannounced and relentless. Auditors swarmed the office one crisp morning, their briefcases clicking like handcuffs as they demanded files. Mark's face drained of color, his usual swagger replaced by frantic pacing, tie askew. I sat at my desk, feigning surprise, but inside, triumph surged hot and sweet, mingled with a pang of guilt. The air buzzed with murmurs, keyboards silent as colleagues exchanged wide-eyed glances. Sensory details assaulted me. The sharp scent of fresh photocopies, the low hum of printers spitting out damning evidence. My hands trembled slightly as I handed over my clean reports, knowing the discrepancies I'd embedded would point straight to him. Overstated expenses, forged signatures. Obsession had morphed into cold calculation. Every move planned in sleepless nights, the $1 million windfall paying for the PI's deeper digs into his fraud. As the day wore on, tension coiled tighter. Mark cornered me in the hallway. His voice a harsh whisper. "Evelyn, what's going on? You know something." His eyes, once flirtatious, now held desperation, revealing the cracks in his facade. Layered motivations surfaced. He'd climbed by stepping on others, driven by his own insecurities, a failed marriage, mounting debts. "Just doing my job," I replied calmly, my words natural yet laced with suppressed rage. Heartbreak resurfaced, raw and unhealed. This man had not only betrayed my trust but diminished me. Inner thoughts raced. Was this poetic justice, or had I crossed into vengeance's dark territory? Doubt flickered, but resentment drowned it out. That evening, Clara called, her voice electric with excitement. "It's working, Ev. But are you sure?" We met at a dimly lit cafe, the clink of cutlery and murmur of patrons masking our conspiracy. Rain pattered against the windows, mirroring my turbulent emotions. "He humiliated me," I confessed, tears stinging. "But what if this ruins lives?" Clara's face softened, revealing her own moral grayness. She'd suggested the anonymous tip, fueled by sibling loyalty and her resentment toward men like Mark. "Sometimes betrayal demands balance," she said, her words heightening the suspense. Hidden motives emerged. Our parents' investment wasn't just luck. Documents hinted they'd chosen that fund after a workplace betrayal of their own, a quiet act of foresight passed down. Back home, the apartment felt claustrophobic, walls closing in as I monitored the fallout via encrypted emails from the PI. Fear gripped me. What if traces led back? Fantasies shifted from glory to nightmares. Exposure, jail. But resolve pushed forward, the money a shield. I invested part of it wisely, stocks mirroring my parents' strategy, a nod to their legacy. Quiet calculation defined these days. Subtle alliances with colleagues, planting seeds of doubt about Mark. One lunch with Sarah, the intern he'd pursued, revealed his manipulations, promises of advancement for favors. "He said you were jealous," she admitted, her voice hesitant. My response was measured. "Jealousy? No. Just truth." Tension built, each conversation a thread in the web. The climax brewed during the board meeting a week later. The conference room, once site of my humiliation, now pulsed with anticipation. Auditors presented findings. Embezzlement totaling $50,000, traced to Mark's accounts. He stammered denials, sweat beading on his forehead, the room's air thick with schadenfreude. "This is a setup," he shouted, eyes locking on mine. In that gaze I saw recognition, the betrayal reversed. My heart raced, a mix of elation and horror. As security escorted him out, his parting words hissed. "You'll regret this, Evelyn. Too old to start over. Watch me drag you down." The aftermath brought unexpected consequences. With Mark gone, the board offered me the director role, a vindication that tasted bittersweet. But guilt shadowed it. His family suffered, whispers of his breakdown reaching me. Inner conflict peaked. Had revenge healed or hollowed me? Clara celebrated over wine, but her eyes held worry. "What now?" she asked. Foreshadowing from earlier paid off. A letter arrived from the brokerage, revealing the investment wasn't split evenly. Our parents had willed more to me, citing my unwavering dedication. Hidden motive. They'd known of my sacrifices, a secret endorsement. The twist struck like lightning. Investigating further, I discovered Mark's final act. A lawsuit claiming I'd framed him, backed by fabricated evidence. Panic surged, but the money bought top lawyers. In court, the truth unraveled. His deeper fraud exposed, including bribes. Yet, in a shocking revelation, Clara confessed. She'd amplified the tips, driven by her own vendetta against a similar boss. "I did it for us," she whispered, tears flowing. Betrayal circled back, familial this time. Heartbreak deepened, but forgiveness flickered amid the ruins. In the end, I walked away richer, not just financially, but in wisdom. The office thrived under my lead, but scars remained. Revenge's payoff was poetic yet punishing. Mark destitute, me empowered yet forever changed. As I stood on my balcony, city lights twinkling below, cold resolve melted into quiet reflection. Was it worth it? The wind whispered yes, but my heart echoed doubt.